Why is peeing even a part of this afterlife? Anyway, but okay, I got it.
Why did you think too much about it?
I thought too much about it. Da-da-da-da-da. My wife is now looking at me very oddly, asking what that conversation. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Hey, peeing in the afterlife. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here talking about my cat. Thank you, Kidalore. Well, you don't. She doesn't like it when I clap, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. All right, we're talking about Upload.
Yeah.
New series on Amazon. And we're going to talk about episodes 1 and 2 entitled Welcome to Upload and 5 stars. All right, so before we jump into these 2 episodes, a little overview of what the show is about.
Sure.
Basically, it centers on our 2 leads, Nathan and Nora.
Yep.
Nathan is recently deceased,
Yes.
and he is been placed, his consciousness has been placed into a digital afterlife. The person who is his contact, his real-life contact, corresponding with the digital world, his handler, if you want to call it, is Nora. And so Nora works at a computer company, and her job is to take newly entered people into this afterlife and kind of walk them through the process. So that's kind of the setup. The thing is, it's interesting. This show tries to be 3 things, and I think it does 2 of them well so far.
Interesting.
I think it tries to be a sci-fi satire.
Yeah.
And I think it successfully does that.
Yep.
So far, 2 episodes in.
Yep.
It tries to be a romantic comedy, which I think it successfully does that as well. But I think the part that, to me, that the moment anyway, they're gonna have to sell me on this, is the murder mystery angle. It doesn't. The tone doesn't fit the rest of the satire romantic comedy feel. Everything else feels a little silly, intentionally so. And then to have this thing of like, oh, but there's a cabal and they murdered you for your intellectual property rights or whatever. Like, it's that so far isn't gelling with me. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I've seen the first season, the whole season.
Okay, you've seen the whole thing. Okay.
And Greg Daniels, who was the person who brought us The Office, who adapted it from the Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant version. He's the one who was responsible for this show. And you may, certainly many people have made the connection between this and The Good Life, which was done by
Good Place.
The Good Place, which is done by
The Good Wife. Different. Okay.
You
said the Good Life.
Good Life.
There's probably a show that's called that too.
But yes, The Good Place. Another writer from The Office and Parks and Rec and all that. And that was about an afterlife too. However, and there was, an underlying theme of the system that causes that to happen. Where it's like, okay, what's the whole nature of this afterlife, and is this fair, what's happening? And that's what I think the function of this storyline plays in this, which is not just what's it like to live in this world, but is this fair? And so since this is a system that's created commercially...
Right. You're right. That's a huge difference.
The commercial ramifications of this, are being explored. And that's what the function of that plot line is supposed to show.
The huge difference because it is, this Upload is certainly one of its main themes is about class.
Right.
And so I don't know. I didn't watch a ton of The Good Place, but I don't think class was necessarily a big theme in that. But you tell me.
It was, but but it wasn't central in terms of what kind of afterlife do we deserve.
Gotcha.
It was really dealing with sort of morality and often the way to deal with class is how well people who have positions of class and privilege, what kind of lives are they living, and do they deserve, a good afterlife?
Yeah.
Basically.
One quick example of that here in Upload is that the stuff that you can, as he walks around in his afterlife,
Yes.
everything's got a price.
Right.
So you can get the base model,
Right.
or you can upsell. Like, oh, I don't want just standard coffee. I want coffee with cream or whatever. Oh, another extra buck. So somebody out in the real world has to pay for you, or your account has to keep paying for you to enjoy the fruits of Lakeview, as it's called.
And one thing that reminded me of is my sort of interpretation, what I've heard anyway, is what it's like for families of people who have people in prison. Because apparently,
good point.
The families are able to provide a life for them in prison. So, like, can you get me this? Can you get me that? Because that'll help me.
I get an extra 5 minutes with the phone.
I get right, exactly.
Yeah, good point.
So,
I didn't think about
that. One of the things that I don't think it's revealed in the first 2 episodes. Well, we kind of see ads that exist.
Oh, yeah. There's it's not Mentos, Orbit gum.
Yes.
There's the guy who's like, Orbit gum! Which,
so presumably that's something that they'll be, the denizens in this artificial world would be buying. And one thing that, they say is like, they're often questioning the point of it, but how similar to the Matrix, wherein the original sort of artificial world, people were sort of, here's everything you could possibly want, and people rejected it.
Right. Too easy.
The initial versions of this digital afterlife, people rejected it because it wasn't troubled enough, or it didn't probably match their previous ideas of what life was about.
I will say this, though. I mean, at one point in these 2 episodes, Nathan does say, like, this place is terrible. And he's right. Like, you just mentioned, like, in the early attempts, they didn't quite get it right. Or, like, it's still, like, it freezes all the time. The buffering is off.
Yeah, right.
You get these constant ads.
Yes.
Like, it's not heaven. It wouldn't be like if I was trying to write out what heaven would be, this would not be it. It would certainly be miles away from what this guy is confronting.
Cinnamon farts isn't making up for that for you?
Almost. This is, there's a scene in there that it is obviously designed to be silly.
Yes.
And it is. It's a thing where he's using a urinal, he being Nathan.
Yes.
And he discovers that no matter where he faces, he always pees into the middle of the urinal.
Yes.
And so he starts playing a game with it. Like, whoa, check it out. I wonder if I'm across the room. But it's silly, it's fun, whatever.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to be the attendant who's underneath the stream, but so be it. There's no droplets. Everything goes straight. Yeah, it's digital.
Also, really, the attendant is not real. So.
Right. Yeah, good point. No! Okay. But here's the thing that made me, I'm overanalyzing the hell out of it, but I was thinking, okay, so he's going pee in this digital afterlife, and then he realizes, hey, I can play a game with it, and he plays a game. Now, he pees for a long time. I'll just say that. Much more than a typical person would, which suggests to me he can control how much pee he has because he wants to play this game. If that's the case, why does he need to pee at all? Why is peeing even a part of this afterlife? Anyway, but okay, I got it.
Why did you think too much about it?
I thought too much about it. Da-da-da-da-da. My wife is now looking at me very oddly, asking what that conversation. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Hey, peeing in the afterlife.
That's not weird.
Okay, very good. Ha ha. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, so yes, did I overthink the hell out of it? Yeah. I also overthought this moment. We see another another resident. Is an elderly woman whose only photo was this old black and white.
Yeah, I thought quite a bit about that too.
And so she's like, yep, that's me. I'm black and white woman. And, I'm like, they don't have the technology to colorize that picture? like maybe she's like, no, I want it exactly like that. And maybe it was just her particular interest was, I want to look like that photo. But it seems to me you can just go.
Introduced, one thing they actually introduced, and that might be a part of it, which is the difference between the lives that people live and the sort of effort that the people who are sort of sponsoring you put into your life.
Okay.
So it's possible that the people that her family.
They're like, we don't want to pay for the colorize upgrade, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
Or it's like, this doesn't seem like my mother color.
Yeah. I got you. Right. There's certainly in-universe reasons why
Right.
she might decide to not colorize herself, but it's it's interesting. There's also obviously there's a therapist who's a dog, so
Yes.
your avatar can be whatever the hell you want it to be.
Right.
All right. Let's talk real fast. Just we're not going to go through plot by plot point,
Right, no.
but just to set up, we open episode 1 with a commercial for Lakeview. We get this, hey, maybe your afterlife is going to be better than your real life. And the ad is playing on a train that is taking Nora to her job. So one of the things we get out of this is not that far in the future, if in the future at all. It's an alternate world,
It
sure.
definitely is in the future, all right, because there is technology that is beyond what we currently have. So
Agreed, but there's things,
it's
for instance...
not like so far in the future where there's like, but it's certainly far enough in the future where it's
near future, perhaps. Because, like, for instance, they mention, hey, what was your song at prom? Oh, it was Uptown Funk.
Right.
Are you that? I did like this line. Were you the mayor from RoboCop?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm just saying, obviously he could be watching RoboCop way in the future, but it suggests that we're kind of not that far from,
right.
where we are now.
It's possible that they were in, what is it, 7th or 8th grade or whatever, or freshman year when that song came out, maybe. But,
Sure.
It's also possible that that's, that
Right, they're just playing like favorite oldies or something. I get you. Yeah. I get it. I'm just saying it feels like there's some of the terms that they're using, and it just feels like it's not that far.
That them being that age when that song came out makes sense for, how far technology has gotten since we were around. So
I got you.
Yep. We're dead now.
Oh, God. Oh, no. We're in Lakeview. This is us doing a show. Actually, there is a guy doing a YouTube show from Lakeview. Hey, like and subscribe.
Right, exactly.
That's me from my digital world.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. So, she's going to her job. She's seems discontent, with her job a little bit. But
the primary reason why she's working there is because she wants her father to be uploaded there.
And he doesn't want to be.
Right.
In his mind, he believes in an actual heaven.
Yes.
And because his wife passed away, he wants to be reunited with her. Right. A class thing again. She
said it was surprise. That her death was a surprise. I feel like she said.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so you get the idea that
one of the things that I feel like they haven't specified a lot, actually, and I'm really curious about is they sort of established that it's like, at least what we've seen anyway, the one that we've seen, where it's like, oh, do you want to have the life-saving procedures or the last chance to get this upload? And it's like, you couldn't put that stuff in the same room.
Plus, I'll just say this. I mean, and maybe there's part of the plot that makes sense of this, but why do you have to decapitate a guy to put him in it?
Clear exactly that wasn't something that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, maybe it's part of the murder mystery angle of it. I don't know, but it's just because it's like you could easily keep that person, intact.
Yeah,
and then
they say actually, right? They say potentially, and it's coming up in other episodes. I'm going to spoil it for all of you.
Spoilers.
But it's an issue that, in terms of the bodies, and they make some mention of it.
Okay.
I think
all right. They give some little
where they say it's Monday. Maybe it's possible to put your mind back into your body.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be easier if you still had your head?
Yes, right. That's what makes me think. Like, wait a minute, was that supposed to happen? Because there was things happening at that time that were like didn't seem like it should be happening at the moment.
Yeah,
like,
it also just seems like if you lived in that world and you were forced to make that kind of choice, you'd be like, what? Right. Wait a minute. I sign here. I think I'm okay. No.
Is sort of like, why can't you, like, okay, I wouldn't mind if my mind from like 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago was taken, as opposed to, just before I die. So I can get
good point. Do I have to have the trauma of my most recent death involved?
Yeah. Or just like, wouldn't it be safer? Like, phew, thank God we got that backed up. Let's just boot them back up in the afterlife. Just like, really, I don't think they really thought out in terms of, devs.
Sure. Yeah, because we've been watching, Devs and Westworld obviously have the idea of like your consciousness gets uploaded into a simulation. So we're on a theme here.
Or an actual, avatar.
Or an avatar, right. We meet Nathan. Nathan, he's not a perfect individual.
Definitely.
He's arrogant.
Yeah.
He's got a girlfriend, but he flirts with some other women. He doesn't really want to commit to her, but he's like,
I missed the other women that he flirted with.
He flirts with the cop that pulls him over for speeding.
Oh, yes, right. Yes.
So he's like, hey,
yes, and the car rats him out.
yeah, right, exactly. I would say at this point, it's not a question of did he get murdered. I think he got murdered.
Oh, yeah.
They've put up enough clues of like, cars never do that. A self-driving car would never crash into a thing. And we have cigarette-smoking man from X-Files. Anyway, he's the rich guy across the hall in Lakeview, and he just out and out says, "Oh wait, you had an app that would compete with Upload that makes billions of dollars a year? You got murdered."
Yeah.
So that's the show saying, this guy got killed off. He has his girlfriend. She seems very shallow.
He's a little shallow himself.
He's shallow himself. They are, in a car together. They're going to be, but she seems like she's involved with manipulating his death. If I had to guess, I would say, because she's like, you drive yourself separately, and I need that thing. And then he goes, and then he ends up dying.
Well, the thing to really think about is, why is she bothering them?
Yeah, no, it's a good point, because that's... Yeah, she has control of his money, which is another interesting... I like that aspect of... He's in the afterlife.
She has control of her own money.
But I mean, in other words, any purchase he wants...
Right, yes.
Has to go through her.
Whatever happens, she's financially in control.
She's like, I get text alerts whenever you want something.
Money, that's the only thing. That's all.
I got you.
Thing. She's in control of his financial life.
Which also is a weird thing, right? I mean, like, you mentioned prison's probably a better example for that, but the idea that you are completely dependent on this person.
Yes.
You're like, I can't break up with you now because if I do, then I can't actually get anything in heaven.
And really, I mean, like, hold on a second. You getting a message that says that I bought something is different than me not being able to buy something without you knowing about it.
That's a confirm. Boop.
Can't you, like, give me an allowance? Like, I can't
go above
exactly. A certain amount.
No.
No. Let's see.
$1 for a Diet Coke? No. He dies very unexpectedly.
Yes.
He's still a young guy. He's in his 20s. Which doesn't match with, a lot of the people that are there are elderly people. We hear like, I had 5 elderly women last week or something. So he's a little different in that way, obviously. His first day there, he kind of has a, as you would, like an emotional breakdown of like, I'm dead and this is how I'm going to spend the rest of my life. And Nora, his handler, she says, call me Angel, because she's not supposed to give him her name and whether she's real. She does eventually. But she watches him, having this catharsis, like crying in his bed, and like, feel sorry for him.
Yeah, and that's another interesting aspect that happens there, where she makes him go to sleep.
So
good point. It's a question of how much actually control they have over these individuals.
Yeah.
So one thing they can't do, apparently, right? I guess perhaps you could argue or in-world explain away that it's like, I'm just going to give you some digital depressants. No, they actually have actual, employees that.
That's a good point. They have therapists.
For them.
In-world thing. That's a good point, though. How much control do they have? We see that as part of that murder mystery angle. At the end of, I think it's episode 1, we see somebody is like deleting the corrupted files from his memory. So his memory of his app, he remembers like what it was about. He doesn't remember the name of it. Very specific things.
He doesn't
are
remember
gone.
what language he used to write it.
Yeah. So that's all been removed. And so it's interesting. It occurred to me at the beginning of episode 1, one of the first, when I say she's on the train, Nora's on the train.
Right.
One of the things she does is she looks over the shoulder of a passenger on the train who's watching 50 First Dates.
Yes.
You probably know this already, people out there, but it's Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore keeps forgetting.
I've watched it many times myself.
Yeah. So, I was like, where is this relevant exactly? But it comes in episode 2. Because the scene she watches on the train is Adam Sandler singing a song to try to give Drew Barrymore back her memories in a way. What does she do? Uptown Funk. She sings a song to help him get his memory back. So she plays Adam Sandler in episode 2. Anyway.
Yeah, I would have thought it was just merely the fact that he's having memory problems and she's trying to help him.
But yeah. Good point.
That's good.
Yeah, there we go. That's why this show exists. Like and subscribe. Okay. We end episode 2 with Nora trying to retrieve some of his lost memories. And she finds one of his last memories before he died, where he and his best friend, good friend and partner, Jamie, had just finished making a sales pitch for their app.
Right.
And this guy, random guy, comes out and is like, hey, have you talked to anyone else about this? Well, don't, because we'd like to buy your app. That guy says suspicious as hell. Anyway, and so I suspect everyone of everything, so I'll just say murder mystery-wise. I mean, the girlfriend...
Are you ready to mat someone?
I don't know if I'm going to mat, because it's a comedy, so I don't know how many people actually die, but anyway, I mean, there's a lot of people dead in Lakeview. But the girlfriend Ingrid, she's in on something.
Just to throw your mind in knots, you should be looking for that.
Okay. All right. Well, the best friend partner Jamie, that dude's in on it. That dude's there's something shady there, and I'm just saying, Jamie is like, I'm your best friend. Stab you in the back. That's what I'm getting out of that. Anyway. So we get that little. So Nora is seeing that information. I don't know that Nathan has that information yet.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, right. Okay. So his memory obviously will eventually be filled in, probably by Nora, as time goes on.
Yeah. So they let him know, like, he's meeting people, but his first day there, they're concerned that he's gonna not take to it, because one thing they have is sort of a stat of people who sort of weren't prepared for it and didn't really choose it so much, how much they often take to it. And they say, please don't go to the BitTorrent or the torrent or whatever. Which,
by the way, very accessible. I like the fact that he climbs through a wooden fence. It's like do not enter. Like, great job, guys. Which that's part of the joke. Is like it's so easily to get there. They could easily make that less accessible, but they don't. It did occur to me that we don't exactly know. I mean, we're told, if you go to the torrent, you die.
Right.
Because his friend, he meets maybe the one guy that seems like accessible to him. That's an actual resident. Seems to be this guy Luke.
Yep.
And so Luke says, people go there and they try to get back, but they can't.
Right.
They'll just disappear. So is it possible maybe they are getting back in some way, or somehow, like, it's not a death sentence, but it's just the thing that, like, as far as Lakeview knows, you die. I don't know. Anyway, from the knowledge we have at the moment, it's a death sentence. It's suicide.
Right.
But I don't know that we have, proof of that. Anyway, he's going to try to just end it all. And Nora shows up to talk him out of it. And she is honest enough in that moment. That's when she says, I am a real person.
She says her name, which she's not allowed to say.
He is convinced. I mean, I'm sure I think there's a part of him that's like, are you just doing this because it's part of your job? But she's open enough that he realizes he's made a connection of some sorts, and maybe life is okay to keep living in this afterlife, and he doesn't commit suicide. But he has to go to therapy.
Right. Well, one thing he really he definitely wants a connection with someone, because she's the one who tells him, like, look, the fact that you can think says that, even though this might feel false and phony, that's actually a plus if you think about it, because nothing you experienced before this was perfect. And she sells him on the idea, basically, that he can still engage and live his life, at least to a certain extent. And part of that is that he knows that she's not an avatar, that she's not AI, because she was able to express something real to him.
Something you can do in this world is you can communicate with living people. He's talking to Ingrid via his virtual cell phone
Yeah.
all the time too. So there is that sense you can actually communicate with the outside world.
Yeah, which is something that's interesting in that it's apparently real time then.
And you can have virtual sex, apparently. That's a thing.
Yes.
Although Ingrid's like, this looks gross.
Yes.
One of the characters that's interesting to me is the little kid. So there's a little kid who's in the system, and he never ages.
Yes.
And so all of his friends have outgrown him, which is odd. You would almost think maybe if you spend enough money, if you want to try to age up normally in this world, you can. But I don't know. But it's just interesting.
I mean, to spoil it slightly, they do address that.
Okay.
And we don't see the family. But it's possible that it's one of those, boy, this is how I like my, I like this person like this.
Right, but it's just interesting because he tries to...
don't want their kids to grow up. So maybe that's why.
Good point. Oh, yeah, there's plenty of reasons why, but it's just there's that friend who used to be little.
Right.
And so Nora reaches out to him and be like, hey, could you just talk to him? He's like, I don't have anything in common with this guy.
Yes.
And that's part of the 5 stars of the title of the second episode. Nora's trying to she gets rated, you get rated on everything. She gets rated on like a sexual encounter, like a Tinder thing.
Yes.
And she gets rated at work. And if she doesn't have 4.8 stars, her boss is like, I'm not giving you the employee discount to have your dad get uploaded. So you need a 4.8. You've got a 4.59. So this kid gives her a low rating. It's not her fault, but he's unhappy.
And very curiously, because the Koch brother, who has a different name.
Yeah, the choke brother.
Yeah. He's shooting at her, and for some reason it wasn't. They can't have digital ducks or something, or he's just into shooting humanoids.
Yeah, good point. He's and then he gives her like 4 stars. He's like, what?
It's 3 stars.
3? Was it 3? Okay.
Yeah. Well, she wasn't moving that fast, so she had to move a little more. She hit the flap. It's like you can't just make her mentally fly.
He's got all the bells and whistles. Obviously, he's the uber rich, the top of the line.
Oh, well, they should work on that.
And so as a gesture of goodwill and I'm your friend, Nathan just gives her a series of 5 stars.
Yes,
just to get her stats up because he realizes how important it is to her. And she then tells him, why she needed those stars.
Yes,
and he says, "Look, I was just listening," and then she mimes giving him 5 stars as well for listening.
Right.
So we see that their relationship is burgeoning at this point, even though he has no head.
No, he
doesn't. But yes, she's having trouble finding a relationship in real life. His relationship with Ingrid is not a good one, dysfunctional at best. So they're coming together, as it were. Any little fun satire moments that caught you or anything like that?
For me, I mean, I like the satire moments or whatever, but I think one of the things I'm most interested about is the type of world they're building. So in the future, water pressure is really low.
Oh, that's right. He's like, the water pressure from the shower, the digital shower.
And later on, Nora is like, this is barely any, but it's kind of warm or something. It's just like, so that's something that is in the future. One thing that they talk about when Nathan and his girlfriend Ingrid are in the car is when he goes out to buy. I like the world there because their auto driving cars are following each other. So when they stop for him to get some food, she wants him to get egg powder and a can of toast.
She also had the setting. She didn't bother to set the setting on her car to avoid pedestrians or something like that.
Set it to prioritize occupant and not prioritize pedestrian.
Yeah. Okay.
It's because I prioritize you. It's like, okay.
Okay.
Kill
the masses.
Yeah. So that's one thing I like about the show is how well it plays on what we understand about our society, but it extrapolates what auto-driving cars will be like and, ads and things like that.
Yeah. The fact that your car unoccupied would just follow along so that you could ride with the person you want to ride with.
And then once you're done staying the night, then you drive home.
They also did have a self-riding bike, which I thought was interesting. Like, because we have those things where you can here in Chicago, you can rent a bike for a certain amount of time, and then you plug. Right. But in this case, it's one step farther. The bike will ride itself back to somewhere else to get rented, I guess. But I was just kind of like, all right, sure, why not?
Yeah. Another funny thing is when he's in the store. And he's scanned. It's like, oh, you look low on iron. We should buy some.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, everybody's stats are constantly being monitored. You're getting checked on. Yeah. Big Brother-ish, quite a bit.
We should discuss what his app did. Is allows you to save your own uploads. So you save your own upload, and it would provide you some freedom, so you wouldn't be bound by. This system where, you're into this one place or whatever, although that is explored later on in the season.
Gotcha. Right. So, it's the idea would be obviously a loss of money for these big companies running Upload right now.
Right.
But also just an idea that it brings more. In fact, Jamie, his partner, says like, oh, that sales pitch you gave about Class. Right. It's the idea of bringing the same services to everyone.
Yes.
Not just have you're rich, well, you get to do this cool thing. So yes, it's a clever show.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It does have some fun comedy in it. As I say, the murder mystery angle at the moment, I'm not. It feels like it's a little disjointed with the comedic satire that we're seeing in the rest of it. But it's only 2 episodes in, so I give the murder mystery a chance to blossom. But it's not. Well, it doesn't need it. That's kind of like you could almost cut that out.
The stakes of a murder is, we take you out of your body and you can put it in a computer.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, they could do without it, frankly. But I get it. They're throwing in. They're giving you some extra. Oh, they can't. Okay. All right. After watching the whole season, they need that. Okay. Good. So yeah. Anyway, enjoying it so far, and we will be back talking about episodes 3 and 4. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it, sir.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
And we'll talk to you later. Bye.